I think we're gonna start with My Adventures with Superman because that's the one you haven't completely got caught up on, and I do just slightly want to just kind of give my thoughts on that as we kind of go here. And I think this episode, okay, so actually, I would actually really love to hear your thoughts on episode 7, the one you actually had seen, because I thought that was the one I actually saw a little bit of controversy on within fans. Like, was that an episode that you enjoyed?
Absolutely loved it. I liked the context because I like the whole time we'd have been sat there like, how did that happen? You know, waiting for a flashback. And honestly, it's needed because this iteration of Lois feels a little bit different because of how the choice that she made to break it off with Clark. Like, we gave her the benefit of the doubt and said, yeah, fine, people grow separately and then come back together. That's fine. But she was acting a lot like her dad, you know.
Sure.
And to see her wrestling with that and to actually have Jimmy call her out on it, which I loved. I love that. Just because Kara's not Clark, what, you've got like some weird double standard of favoritism for him? Like, okay, you know, but you do need to check yourself because you're acting in a way that's not great. So
yeah,
good for you, Jimmy.
Yeah, like I actually think that's always kind of an interesting thing with this version of Lois, because she is at times a very flawed character. Like, she's not always morally in the right. She does sometimes do things or say things where she kind of has to kind of take a step back and be like, oh, maybe this is not what I should have done. Like, we saw that last season when she jumped off the roof, and then she had a moment where she's like, maybe I shouldn't have jumped off a roof and caused my boyfriend a heart attack or whatever. She has those little moments, and I feel like she had that in episode 7 and episode 8 as well, where it's like, shit, I shouldn't have. I was insecure. I was feeling sad. I had this feeling. And this is something we've talked about in like past shows, where it's like, even like Superman and Lois, I actually think does this very well, where it's like, how do I date a superhero? How do I date someone that can just save the world and I don't have powers? Like, how do I stand up to that? So I think like seeing that insecurity with her, where it almost works as like a fun little prequel to Superman Lois. Like, this is how she's going through that. This is how she's dealing with that, being like, I don't know how to do this yet, but I want to try, and I want to get back with him before he can try and make this work and try to find out how to work this out. I will say, I did think episode 7 was probably my least favorite of the show, but not because I thought it was like bad. It is just one of those things where it's like, well, yeah, it is the one without Superman, and I did think they were just kind of having.
I did, honestly, that's fine. I appreciate I appreciate that, but I don't feel like it suffered for it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I genuinely don't. I thought it was really, really good. I did not think it was
bad. No, I did think it was maybe slightly like the goofiest episode of the show, which I don't think is bad. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I do consider this like a kid show, so I think at times they're able to kind of have fun with it and bring on the more goofy side of it and stuff like that. But like, no, it's fun, and I think actually I really appreciate the season giving us more Jimmy, because that was actually one of my lackings of last season, when I said like, I think he gets the short end of the stick, and this season they've given him a little bit more. They've given him a bit of a spotlight.
Cannot believe the man is broke.
I know.
He's back to being broke now. Like, what the hell?
I want to shake him. I want to just be like, there's so many better ways you could have gone about this. You could have hired anybody else that wouldn't have took that much money.
I know. I mean, learn to negotiate. You know, I understand that like you're in your dream position and that was like a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, oh my god. Like, it's to the point, like, it's gone so quick that even just having it in the account to garner interest didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, he gained no money from that money.
No.
It's crazy. It's just gone. It's gone.
Oh. That's the thing this season that's stressing me out. Because I'm like, I dream to have that amount of money. Like, just, oh my, Jimmy, you stupid idiot. And it's not like, yes, he has a share in this company, but he's not contributing anything to this company. He's supposed to be making videos. He's supposed to be working for the planet. He is the leader of the planet, and he's
Yeah.
not doing anything. Does he have people working at the company at least? How is he going to pay his employees? Like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I didn't even think about that bit. Oh my god. Oh my god. He's gonna end up in like some civil suit with all of his employees, and he's gonna be like the worst CEO of all time. Oh my god.
So
Either that
funny.
or like starting a Kickstarter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how is this guy paying his
Uh,
guys? Oh my god, dude. You just brought
Yeah.
up the biggest thing. Oh my god.
Poor guy. No, but I did think it was a really cute moment where he's like, anything for Clark.
Yeah, no, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Yeah.
You got your boys back. You got your boy, right? Of course, 100%. Good job.
Mhm.
But my goodness.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. But no, yeah, I thought it was a fun episode. It was I think I actually really enjoyed the like Livewire and Heatwave kind of like sub
Oh,
relationship side thing. Where first I'm
Yeah.
like, what are we doing? Like, why are we bringing in these characters? And by the end, I was like, all right, this is pretty darn cute. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
kinda adorable.
yeah. When they're all breaking out and you got that whole speech, that was adorable. That was real cheesy.
Yeah.
I was here for all of it. I was here for all of it.
I agree. Yeah, and like I don't know, like this show, how it writes is like relationships, I think is the cutest thing ever. Like obviously Clark and Lois is amazing. Those two were cute. In episode 8, they did some really cute stuff with Kara and Jimmy. And like
Yeah.
there would come a point where I'm like, these kids are so freaking cute. They're so adorable. Like I love what we're doing here. And I don't want to dive too much into episode 8 spoilers. I know you still haven't seen the majority of it, but there became a point within this episode where I'm like, I am loving this arc because I've kind of had a little bit of a roller coaster season. I've enjoyed it for the most part, but I there was a point kind of in the beginning of the season where I'm like, I don't know if I'm enjoying this as much as I was the first season, which is not
Mhm.
bad because I really loved it the first season. I was like, I'm not sure, but I think this season might have higher highs for me. I think
Okay.
episodes, what is it? What was the episode that Clark was officially kidnapped? Was that episode 6? It was it 6?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, 5.
7.
5?
7 was him in space.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it was 5, 6, and 8. Yeah, I think 5, 6, and 8, I think are the best of the shows just far. I think the big Brainiac, Kara, Clark dynamic that they've built throughout the show so far, and again, I don't want to get too much into this episode, but the dynamic between Clark and Brainiac in episode 8, I was like, this is amazing. This is phenomenal. Like, I think this is just
Ooh.
such a Brainiac has been such a well-written villain. And again, this is also, like I've said in these past ones, like Emerson is like the best villain. Lost has recently been put on Netflix inside the US, and everyone's currently talking about the show again. And all the clips from like his character in Lost have been going around. I was like, oh, it's so good. I wanna rewatch the show. And just like him as a villain is so good. Like he demands a room. Like this man could be cast as a stick, and I'd be like, well, he did a great job. You know, like he's just so good. And yeah, his Brainiac I thought was amazing in episode 8. And how they
You can feel that he's so soft spoken, but you feel how threatening he is.
Yeah.
It's insane. He's doing such a good job.
He's doing a great job. He's doing an amazing job. Yeah, I'm loving him. I think he's been great. And they do some really cool stuff. It's hard because I don't want to talk too much into it, but I've loved there is a dynamic in this episode between Clark, Lois, and Jimmy that I think is very interesting that they have built upon. That I'm very excited to see. And I think do you think Kara, I know you haven't seen this episode yet, do you think Kara is going to be a mainstay outside of season 2, or do you think she's going to leave? You think she's going to like stick around?
Yeah. I think relationships are going to be really important to her. I think there is going to be a drive to try and fix the damage that she's done, but they like it's like Captain Marvel with the Marvels. Do you know what I mean? Like you were at war. The damage needs to be fixed without you. Do you know what I mean? Like there's some things that you need to do, like her fixing the sun or whatever, but like their society just needs to fix itself. You've done the damage. Your super abilities, as great as they are, the most that they can do is infrastructure. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like they themselves need to rebuild as a society. So it depends. It depends because this show like really pushes relationships. So I think that she's going to stick around.
Yeah, no, I am very excited to see the bonding between Clark and Kara in upcoming episodes, because I think they've built such an interesting dynamic already that feels so separate from anything we've seen from Kara. Like I feel like typically it's like, oh, like Clark meets Kara as a child, and you know he has to kind of stay away, and while Kara's kind of doing her own thing. And I feel like having kind of Kara almost be this older sibling to Clark. Like she's the older, wiser cousin, but she's fucked up. She's messed up. She's made the mistakes, and now she's kind of looking at Clark, being like, "Well, how do I fix things? Like how do I move forward with what we have to kind of do here?" So, no, I thought episode 8 is 8, right? I think 8 might be my favorite episode of the show so far. I think just the way I don't know if it's just the music they played, the action within the episode, the dialogue between characters. I thought it was a really, really solid episode. And maybe next week we could talk about it a bit more once you've seen the episode and we can fully kind of dive into some of the things. But
see, also, a great way to like keep her, and not like have to ramp up the threat because of there being 2 Kryptonians, is you could like have her around but like keep her at the Kent farm for the most part, and have her like kind of learn what Clark learned, like with the Kents. So that could be a good way to do it.
Sure. Yeah, and honestly, you could give her. Obviously, we know we're getting season 3. Thankfully, I would honestly write it a little bit how we write Steel over on Superman and Lois, and that was kind of my that's my pitch for what I think the Flash should have done. Like, I think you should have had Wally back on the main Flash show. I know actor didn't always want to be there, but like if you could have had him there, I would have had write him, but give him a separate storyline outside of what Barry was doing. And I think Lois says that very well, where like Steel is there, he's powerful, but he's dealing with his own family stuff, he's dealing with his own personal struggles, he has his own personal villain, he's out there. And then when Clark needs assistance, when he needs someone to come and help him freaking save a jet or whatever, he can call him and be like, yo, I need your help or whatever. And I think that's how I would do it. Maybe give Kara and Jimmy their own kind of separate subplots throughout the season. And that would actually give Jimmy something else too, because oftentimes it's Clark and Lois on a mission or whatever, and Jimmy's over here like, I'm doing a thing over here, right? So that kind of gives him something else to do. So kind of split up the show between those two, I think could be kind of cool. And then there's even like My Adventures with Superman. You can almost be like, well, maybe not My Adventures with Superman, but I'm having an adventure with Supergirl kind of thing. So kind of a nice little parallel there.